Well, hey, y'all, and thank you so much for coming to my brand new channel. I presume that you are here because you want to lose weight, right? That's what I have been telling people that I am trying to help you do. That is why I created this. So I assume that's why you're here. I don't know if you're at the end of your rope, that you've tried absolutely everything, nothing has worked for you, or maybe you've had some success and then you've gained all the weight back with maybe some friends. Been there. I know what it's like. Or maybe you've never lost weight before, but you've noticed that you have some extra and you're looking for a way to get it off. Whatever brings you here. My presumption is that you're here because you want me to help you lose weight. Okay, so now we've established why you're here. What about me? Why am I here? Well, I happen to know from personal experience that having extra weight on your body, like being overweight, being obese, if you don't want to be, sucks. Like, it is not something I would wish on anyone. I have been battling with my weight since as long as I can remember, and I was able to lose the weight after many years of trial and error, of reading every book I could get my hands on, of legit academic study, of joining a support group, hiring a coach. I was able to lose the extra 80 pounds that I have been carrying for the past 20 decades. So, as you might imagine, along that journey, I have learned a lot about why we put extra weight on, why it's so hard to get that extra weight back off, and a whole lot of the pitfalls and the misdirections and the bad advice that gets in the way of people when they're traveling along their weight loss journey. So really, my hope is to not only teach you what I know in order to help you along your journey, but also to shorten the time that it takes for your journey than the 46 years that it took me. Because right, that's not much of a sell, right? It'll just take you 46 short years if you just follow my no, obviously not. I would love to help you condense my journey by explaining to you what I did, how I did it, why I did it, so that you might take what you need, apply it to your own life, make your own choices, and hopefully, mainline your journey a little bit better than I was able to mainline mine. Now we know why you're here. We know why I'm here. Let's talk a little bit about this educational program that I am setting up, a series, if you will. What I'm trying to do here is basically teach you what I wish someone had sat me down and taught me 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? You might be thinking, oh my God, 40 years ago, you were 7 years old. Really? You needed somebody to teach you about weight loss? Yes. What I'm saying, yes, I did need someone to teach me about weight loss. I have literally had an issue with my weight for as far back as my very first memory. And I actually have the receipts on this one. I'm a journaler. I'm a diary. I keep diaries. And I started when I was 9 years old. Within a week of buying my very first diary ever, I wrote that I was going on a diet and that I would likely fail. Okay, 9 years old. So yes, I have been in this game a long time. And yes, I wish someone had sat me down the way I am trying to do for you and said, okay, this is why you have extra weight that you don't want. This is what you can do about it. And this is how you can keep that weight off. That is what I plan to try and help you with. Now, in addition to somebody sitting me down as little Heather, or like little teenage Heather or young adult Heather, I really wish someone had also sat me down and said, this is not your fault. You are enough, no matter what that scale says. Now, if nobody has ever said that to you, today's the day. This is not your fault. You are enough, no matter what that stupid scale says. So when I say that I am starting this series to help you lose weight, what I'm not saying is that I am trying to fix you. You are not broken. You have a body that has brought you this whole way, and it is the only one you're ever going to get. So appreciate it, love it, do your best to care for it. Please don't think of yourself as broken and needing fixing. As far as I'm concerned, you're here to lose weight for whatever reason. Maybe it's aesthetic. Maybe it's a health reason. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever your reason is, then I want to help you, because at least for me, in my experience, having extra weight on my body has brought along some suffering. There has been a lot of tears shed, a lot of shame and self-hate and just not nice things that have come along with this for me. So if in any way what I know can help you to reduce your suffering, if I can help any one of you to expedite your journey, make your journey easier in any way, I have succeeded. That is my definition of success, to paraphrase a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, who happens to be my favorite philosopher. That is why I'm doing this. That is why I am taking on this incredibly overwhelming learning curve. Now, it should be obvious to you already. And if it's not, like, I hate to break it to you, but this one video is not going to be the magic that you have been looking for in your weight loss journey. By the end of this, I will not have given you the secret that no one has told you or anyone else up until now that will help all of the extra weight just go away instantly. It doesn't exist. I've looked really hard. It doesn't happen, right? You don't expect that, surely. Here's the other part of that. In the past, I have tried to tell people everything that I know about weight loss and every single thing that I did kind of all at once in a here, take a little sip from this fire hose type method. And that doesn't work. It's not a really good strategy. So even if I could all at once and just did a marathon video for you, tell you everything that you needed to know, or I thought you needed to know, everything that I needed to know, it wouldn't be useful to you. We can't take a lifetime worth of information at one sitting and put it all to use at the same time, right? We just don't work that way. So I do want to inspire you to get started, but I know if I say too much all at once, then a lot of it is going to be kind of wasted. So for example, I am sure you have been to like a motivational speaker, or you've read a motivational book, or watched a motivational documentary, or seen a video online that was motivational in some way. Depending on how good it was, you might have walked away with that experience that you're a changed person. Like, oh my gosh, that was the insight that I needed. I'm going to go put that into practice in my life. I'm going to be a whole new me. And there are basically 3 ways to react to that kind of inspiration. The first way is to be all excited, and then by the time you get home, you're like, yeah, that was great. And then you just kind of fold back into your regular life and nothing ever happened. I think we've all experienced that. The second way, which is just as ineffective and just as likely to be useless to you, is you go to one of those things, you come back, or you watch something and you come back and you think, oh my God, I am going to do everything right now. And say it was about weight loss. Say you went to some retreat, or you watched a documentary on like vegetarianism or something. And then you came home and you threw away all the meat in your house and all the junk food, and you went out and bought a bunch of vegetables. And at the same time, you joined the gym, because you also learned that cardiovascular and strength training exercise was really important. And you also decided to give up coffee and give up drive-through and give up. And then what happens? Who amongst us hasn't done some level of that? You might make it a couple weeks if you're lucky, a few days if you're lucky, and then you burn out. Nobody can do that. You can't just change your life on a dime and expect it to stick. And the unfortunate part of that approach is that sometimes when people do kind of have it stick for any amount of time, they change all these things and then they go for a couple weeks scratching and clawing. When they quit, sometimes everything that they tried gets lumped together in their mind as, that doesn't work for me. So there might have been one of those things that they kind of decided in one fell swoop to add to their routine, would have been hugely useful to them by itself, But because they lumped it into all this other thing that was unsustainable and none of it really got done all that well, the whole lot to them is now, that doesn't work for me. That's actually a little bit worse sometimes than to not have done anything at all, because now you've thrown the baby out with the bathwater and there are some things that you could be doing that you aren't. Maybe don't take away either of those strategies if you watch my videos and get inspired by them. Instead of either of those first two approaches that don't work, like if you do nothing, it doesn't work. If you quit before you have any success, or even after you have success and go back to the way you were doing things, that doesn't work. So how about the third strategy? And I really want you to pay attention right now, because the third strategy is today's lesson. Of course, I wasn't just going to introduce myself. I'm actually going to start the process of teaching you how to lose weight, and it starts right now. I told you that I can't share with you everything that I know about weight loss all in this one video, but I'm not starting at some dinky strategy, okay? You're not getting some bargain basement throwaway strategy, people. I am here to tell you what I consider to be the most important piece of advice I have ever received on my weight loss journey. The most important strategy, the most important concept. This is the bedrock of what you need to understand in order to get anywhere in your weight loss journey. You might think I'm overselling something, and you might, once you hear it and how simple it is, be like, oh, no, duh, who is this idiot? It could be your response. I don't know what your response is going to be. It could be that. I hope that isn't. I hope that is not your response. When you hear it, I hope you're really thoughtful about it, because it's a game changer. Every person that has done anything remarkable that you've ever heard of has used this strategy in order to make themselves remarkable. What I'm saying is not just the pursuit of weight loss is what this strategy is good for. It's the pursuit of literally anything that you want to achieve. You ready? You ready? Okay, I'm going to tell you. The most powerful piece of advice for success in any pursuit is start small. Figure out a way to make it work into your daily life. Keep going. Don't stop. That's it. Do you feel different? Do you feel a little different? Or are you like, no, duh. Yeah, I got to start and keep going. Of course I do. Yeah. For example, something from my own life. In 2015, my mom passed away. It was awful. It was heart-wrenching, and I was not in a good place at all. I can assure you that my food choices were not the healthiest. I was not exercising. I was gaining a tremendous amount of weight, developing sleep apnea and prediabetes. Unhealthy. Not doing well. My mother happened to have been a runner in her youth. For some reasons, unbeknownst to me in this current moment, I decided that I wanted to run a 5K. I decided that was a way that I was going to honor my mother by picking myself back up and, doing something that was meaningful to me because it was, something that she did. It's not like I was a runner in my youth. I was not. I was one of those, if I'm running, you better run too because somebody's chasing me kind of people. Not a runner, not interested in running. Used to make jokes about it. When I tried to do this, I was starting from ground zero, and there was an app called Couch to 5K that was really popular, so I decided to do that. And the first kind of session in that app, I think you run for 30 seconds. When I'm talking about start small, I'm not even talking about the first 30 seconds that I did when I, used that app. Start small is putting your shoes on every day in preparation to take the run. You feel me? 30 seconds of running had to be preceded by me getting to someplace safe to run, preceded by me putting my shoes on, preceded by me having a plan of action of what I was going to do once I got there, preceded by, having this app that was going to tell me what's right. There was a whole lot of steps between me deciding that I wanted to run and me running for my first 30 seconds. When you are deciding what you could do, what changes you could make in your life that you believe will make you healthier, don't start at the 30 seconds of running part. Start with the putting on the shoes, deciding where you're going to go, what you're going to do when you get there. and then making a plan for you to keep doing that as part of your regular routine, and then don't stop. So what did that look like for me? I did that first thing, that first 30 seconds, and then I followed that app all the way through until I ran a 5K when I was 39 years old. And then a good friend convinced me to tag team a half marathon. And then I did a half marathon on my own. And then I did 2 more after that. This thing works. In addition to becoming a runner, I used it before I even knew what it was. I became a potter. I started throwing pottery in my early 20s. I was able to earn 2 bachelor's degrees, a master's degree, and a doctorate using this strategy. I was able to lose 80 pounds using this strategy. This strategy, start small, figure out how you can put it into your day-to-day life, keep going, don't stop, is how you can do literally anything. So please, please, please hear me that it's powerful stuff. Take it seriously and start thinking about what your small change is going to be. What am I actually describing? I'm describing habits. I am describing forming new habits to change the course of your life. It sounds a little hyperbolic. It is not. We are the sum total of what we do every day. And right now, what you're doing every day, if you have extra weight on your body, is either maintaining that weight through your actions, or if you are unfortunately gaining weight right now, it is causing you to gain weight because of your actions. So that the daily activities that you're currently involved in are the problem. So the solution is to change those daily activities. Getting from here to here involves a whole lot of practice and a whole lot of falling down and getting back up. I am not in any way saying that this is an easy process, because not only do you have to go from what you're currently doing to what you should be doing, you got to figure out what that is. And it's not obvious, and it is not the same for everyone. So it is a trial and error approach. And I did promise at the beginning that I was going to give you a path, but please know that we are all different. So if you try to do exactly what I did, it might not work for you at all, or you might not be willing to do it. So you, in order to get from here to here, have to come up with your way. I'm going to give you some science and some tricks and some strategies that I think that will help you figure out your best way. But ultimately, the journey is yours. And it doesn't start until you do, right? Right? Journey of 10,000 miles starts with a single step. So part of today is not only you understanding that changing habits is foundational to weight loss, it's also you deciding what your first change is going to be. This is also non-negotiable. When I talk to people about how long, my weight loss took and how long it can take, they get frustrated. We want to lose 60 pounds in 6 weeks before our wedding or our daughter's wedding or our grandson's wedding. Everybody's losing weight for weddings. That seems to be a thing. I didn't lose any weight for my wedding, just so you know. So I can't help you lose 60 pounds in 6 weeks so that you fit into an outfit better. I'm sorry. That if that's what you were hoping for, I can't deliver it. It took me years to lose weight. And some of you might be going, years? Did she just say years? I don't want to hear years. Okay, months. It took me months, lots and lots of months to lose my weight, to come up with all of the habits to put in place. I'm not promising you anything faster. I'm going to, hopefully faster than the decades that it took me. Yes, I am going to try to help you with that. But I'm not saying it's going to be weeks. It's going to at least be some months, you guys. So buckle in. Those months, that clock does not start until you do. So you need to decide on your habit, decide on the change that you want in your life, break it down into the tiniest little bit that you can. Think, put my shoes on, think, drink a cup of water before I have a cup of soda if I'm trying to get rid of soda. Think, go down from 2 donuts to 1 when I go through the Dunkin' drive-thru on the way to work, whatever it is. If you've been in this game for any amount of time, you know some things to do for weight loss. So I trust your judgment. Pick something. And ideally, you would pick something that you're kind of enthusiastic about, something that you really think would work, something that would make you proud to do, something that's kind of easy. Because if you have a lofty goal and you don't do it, then that's completely worthless. It has got to be something that you're willing to do. Ideally, something that you're willing to do today. Yes, I did. I said today. I mean, I might, if you're listening to this at 2:00 in the morning, give you a little leeway and say tomorrow, but tomorrow is the latest. This is a now thing. We want to start this process now. And I happen to know, because I have done it, that we like to say, oh, well, I can't start today. I'll start on Monday, or I'll start at the beginning of the month, or after vacation, or after the holidays, or the first of the year, right? Right? You've done it. You've done it. I know you've done it. Okay, I've done it. I will admit that I have done it. How's that worked out for you? If we waited until we were perfectly ready to do anything, then how much would we really get done? For example, I decided to launch this channel before I really knew anything at all about filming myself or recording or editing or anything. And so one might question, well, Heather, since you're the one that set your own deadline, why on earth didn't you give yourself more time? I'll tell you why I didn't give myself more time, because you learn by doing. I could give myself another year and I still wouldn't know how to do any of that stuff without practicing, without trying, right? The learning comes in the doing, you guys. So you're not going to learn how to lose weight until you start trying to lose weight and seeing what works and what doesn't work for you, what sticks, what doesn't stick, what you're able to maintain and what you're not able to maintain. You might have this goal to be a runner, but you can barely walk. Then your first kind of foray might be, I'm going to stand for a minute. Some people, that's where they are on their journey, and no disrespect. Start wherever you are. Do whatever you can. Make sure that you're doing it every day. Now, when it comes to something like running, like that is not actually a daily activity, right? Most runners that I know, or at least me, that's a 3-day-a-week thing. Drinking water is not a 3-day-a-week thing. Giving up soda is not a 3-day, right? So there are lots of choices that you can make that are daily that might be better as a first choice to give you the momentum to build your muscle and being a habit creator and former and moving the needle on your life and in your journey. If you heard me and you're ready to come along, then right now you should be brainstorming what your habit's going to be, what time of day you're going to do it, where you're going to be doing, what you're going to be wearing when you're doing it, whether you're going to be able to do it at the same time every single day, and if not, maybe pick something else. I want your brain to be churning on something that you can come next week having done 7 days in a row. All right, you guys, so that's it. That is step 1. That's my first lesson. Your homework is to come up with your habit and then to do it every single day. This whole thing won't work unless you do. I hope you've heard that before. This is not a thought exercise. This is not a drill. This is not a drill, you guys. It requires effort on your part. No amount of listening to someone talk is going to cause you to lose weight. There needs to be some physical change that another person, if watching you, could see you doing in order for true change to be possible. So please know that if nobody else can see your habit change, then you haven't actually made one. That is an important point. This is in the physical world, not in the mind this time, you guys. Make good choices, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Schucker. I'm a nurse practitioner. I practice primary care. Now, just because I'm a healthcare provider doesn't mean that I am your healthcare provider. So please know that this information is meant to be general. If there is something specific to you and your health needs, please follow the advice of your provider who actually knows you and knows your history, and not some rando on the internet that doesn't. And if I am your healthcare provider, please be on time for your next visit, although I probably won't be. My apologies in advance.